Hey there, it's Shauna. Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for August 13th. So this week, when I was looking at the astrology transits, I was reminded of this one little beautiful line from a poem that I like. And it's titled "From a Letter from Frida Kahlo to Marty McConnell." And Marty McConnell is the poet that wrote the poem. And the line is, "Take a lover who looks at you like maybe you're magic." And I was really feeling the vibe of that with the astrology this week. And not even just like take a lover, but to look at yourself like maybe you're magic. To look at your life like maybe you're a little bit magic. And so I'm excited to share the astrology of this week with you. And then as always, I have 3 tips for you to make the most out of this week. So let's get started. The first thing that's happening, actually a lot of this is all happening towards the end of the week. So it's like a week of building towards this energy. The first thing that I'll share with you is we have the first quarter moon in the sign of Scorpio. And so the first quarter moon is a decision point within the lunar cycle. The first quarter moon is the point between the new moon and the full moon. So we have the new moon, we had that last week. This week we have the first quarter moon, and then next week we'll have the full moon in Pisces. And so, in Pisces. The first quarter is often associated with a time of moving forward into conflict, to like fight for something, to stand up for something, to say, no, this is what's important to me. Or to say, you know what, like this isn't working, I need to redirect, or I need to compromise because this is my goal. And it's really kind of like this time of reassessment and reassessing your actions, because it's the waxing phase of the moon, or it's the waxing part of the cycle. And waxing is when something is growing. It's when it symbolizes a time of external action. So I want you to notice what's coming up for you around Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Especially around where you need to make decisions, where you need to put your energy in, and how you're focusing your energy. The other part of this first quarter moon is it's in the sign of Scorpio. It's happening at 25 degrees of Scorpio. And so Scorpio is about power. It's about how we use our power and our energy. It's about depth and meaning and getting into the deeper meaning of something. So this is not a time to like phone it in or call it in. Like, it's really important this week that you're working with what it is that's important to you, and you're focusing your energy, activities that you're doing, the time and attention that you put out into the world, into your life, that's something that's very meaningful and important to you. So that's happening early morning hours of Saturday. That same day, Saturday this week, Mercury will station direct. And so it's stationing direct at 12 degrees of Leo. And so this is really interesting because Leo and Scorpio are square to one another. So it's not happening within the same degrees, but it's important to notice that we have the first quarter moon where it's like, okay, what is the decision? What is it that you're taking action for or against? And then Mercury is stationing direct. Mercury is the mind. It's the thought process. It's also how we communicate. And when Mercury stations direct in astrology, that symbolizes where we've been reviewing things over the past few weeks. It symbolizes where your energy flow, your mental and communicative energy has been more internalized. And then the station is this pause before you get ready to move forward again, before you get ready to implement things that you've been thinking about reviewing or cleaning up or tidying up, as far as like your schedule or the way that you organize your life, or even just the way that you communicate. And so this is all happening on Saturday. And then the other thing that's happening this weekend also, that's been building really throughout this whole month, is Jupiter will be exact trine to Neptune. And so Jupiter and Neptune, they move more slowly than the other planets. And so for that reason, this energy has been building all month, and it's more subtle, but it's still worth mentioning. So Jupiter is about expansion, it's about our philosophy, and it symbolizes where there's growth. It symbolizes where we're also fighting for something. Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio right now until about November this year. And so trine Neptune. Neptune is all about dissolving boundaries. It's about mysticism, spirituality, creativity. It's about that feeling of oneness and connection. It's also about being disillusioned or not seeing things clearly and being really fucking confused. So the thing is, this is a harmonious aspect to trine. And so Jupiter trine Neptune, it's this time where there's a massive flow of creative energy because Jupiter expands, Neptune softens things and spiritualizes things or makes things a little unclear. So I feel like this week, like that's where there's like all of this like kind of magical energy, like Scorpio, first quarter moon in Scorpio, that's kind of like this magical energy. And then the Jupiter and Neptune, that's also helping us to tap into creativity, to your sense of spiritual connection to yourself, helping you connect to dream work and imagination. But it can also feel like you're like, I don't know which end is up, or it can kind of feel just like a little bit uncertain. And we can also feel this way when Mercury stations direct too, because it's like this pause point where there's a shift. There's a shift from internalizing energy to externalizing energy. And so it's kind of like an adjustment week, I think. So all of that being said, I have 3 tips for you. So tip number 1 is to remember that there are shades of gray, that everything is not black and white. And I say that because first quarter moon in Scorpio energy, we can sometimes see things as hot, cold, black, white, like it's on or it's off. And I think also to a certain extent with Mercury retrograde, where there's a station where it's like, okay, like this is how I feel about it and this is what I'm going to do. So I want you to keep in mind that that may be what you're feeling, like a very strong, clear, like, or where it may feel like you're trying to make a decision between 2 different things and you are having a hard time because it feels very black and white. And so this week, I want you to remember that it's not always black and white. And if it feels like it's hard to make a decision, then do your best to hold off and wait until it does feel like there's a clear yes answer. I think we could say that always with life, but especially this week as well, because we have that Scorpio energy. Tip number 2 is to seek additional resources. And so I say that because when Mercury stations direct on Saturday, it's also going to sextile Venus in Libra. And so the sextile is a very helpful aspect, but it's like you have to do something in order to get the assistance. Venus is about relationships, it's about beauty, harmony, love, sex, all of those things. And so there's something here where it's like, it feels like if there's something that you need, or whether that is information or additional resources. I feel like it could be resources because first quarter moon in Scorpio is also about like the resources that you have at your disposal to use. So if you need something, ask for it this week. Like what is it that you need to thrive this week? And then how can you ask for that? What are the opportunities that you can take advantage of this week? So that's tip number 2, to seek additional resources. Tip number 3 is to look for the magic. So I really want you to look for synchronicity this week. And really even this whole month, because we have, so Jupiter and Neptune are exact trine at 16 degrees just this week. But then because the planets move so slowly, they're moving away very slowly. So it's kind of like we have this this connection to spirit and creativity all month long, but especially this week, it's very concentrated. So look for synchronicity, look for where things just kind of fall into place very organically, or where they don't fall into place and where it feels like there's a lot of resistance, and that may be a message for you to redirect. Really pay attention to that this week. So those are your 3 tips, and I'm going to pull a tarot card for us for this week. So if you have something that you want to think about, that you want to keep in mind while I'm shuffling these, feel free to do that. And so this is just a general vibe for the week. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I pulled the Lovers card. So this card is interesting. I always find this card fascinating because you look the lovers, you're like, oh, lovers. But this card is actually about individuation. And so a few different things with this card. So first we have, this could be seen as the Adam and Eve with like the little serpent and the apple tree. This little dude here is Archangel Gabriel. The Archangel Gabriel is associated with communication and writing. So I think it's interesting that this card came up when we have Mercury stationing direct. And so this is a reminder to stay true to your values and to stay true to what it is that's important to you. Because that's when you're more true to yourself and when you can connect with others at a more authentic level. Like that's really what the guts of this card is about. And it's also like a reminder not to compromise, where it's like just giving you a quick fix. This is a reminder to stay connected to what it is that's really important to you at a deep level. And I would associate that with the first quarter moon in Scorpio, because Scorpio is like, okay, I'm not down with just the superficial bullshit. Like I want something that is very deep and meaningful, and that there may be some sacrifice for that. And so that's what I see with this card. I'm curious what comes up for you when you think about that card as well. So that's your horoscope for this week. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please share this with a friend who you think would enjoy it as well. And as always, if you want to connect with me more, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube under Neo-Feminine Astrology. And you can also connect with me more on Neo-Feminine TV. So the schedule has been a little bit irregular for Neo-Feminine TV. Thank you for hanging in there with me while I adjust my schedule. So I'll post the next upcoming one on Instagram. I'll post that soon. So you can find inspiration and guidance for sensitive souls. I talk about astrology stuff. I talk about things that I feel like are important for highly sensitive people to know about or to think about, just to live and exist in the world. So I always have a lot of fun recording those and connecting with you on the live chat as well. So I'll have a link below for you to find more info on that. And then lastly, I'm really excited because I am launching another version of Astrology for Empaths. And so that's an online experience. It's 6 weeks, and I'm starting that in September. I did it earlier this summer, and I had a lot of people that wanted to sign up but couldn't, or like, you know, just life happened. And so I've decided to do it again in September. So I'm really excited. If you want more information about that, I'll have a link for that below as well, or you can contact me and ask me whatever questions you have. So more details about that coming soon, but that is coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So that is all. I'm wishing you a wonderful week and sending you lots and lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.